Thanks, Lindsay. Both men's and women's basketball are approaching the halfway point in the SoCon regular season. We'll also take a look at Furman's tennis matchups. Furman women's basketball faced ETSU earlier this week. Let's take a look at the action. Vula brings the ball down the court and passes to Sydney James, who sinks this three-pointer. On another play, Janae Otten brings the ball down the court, passes to Jada Session for another three-pointer. Wow, what a gutsy move. Bring the ball inbounds, Grace Van Rock dips it off to James for a two-pointer. With the missed shot, Grace recovers with a great assist to Sydney for another two-pointer. Paladins fell short against ETSU, 56-64. Jada Session and Sydney James both got double-doubles. Session had 10 points and 10 rebounds, while James scored 20 points and 10 rebounds. Later this week, we took on Chattanooga. Here's some of what happened. Grace Van Raw receives a pass and makes a short jumper over the head of the Chattanooga defender. Wow. Bula brings the ball down court. Acker pass inside to Grace for another two. Sydney James to the line sinks both of them to bring the score 35-36. But Furman lost a heartbreaker to Chattanooga 44-51 in double overtime. Furman has been plagued with season-ending injuries, but players have stepped up to fill those positions. We'll see if they can bounce back at Samford. Furman had a huge regular season game against the Samford Bulldogs, who were undefeated in SoCon play going into this matchup. The Bulldogs met a crowd of purple in a packed-out Timmons Arena. Foul trouble was the key issue for the Bulldogs, especially down the stretch. J.P. Pegues knew he would be matching up against one of the best point guards in the conference. Here's his three-pointer off the rebound. And we have to show this clip of him making that clutch three-pointer off the shot clock, putting Furman up 11-7. He finished with 15 points. Jalen Slauson proved why he was the SoCon Player of the Year in defense last season with this monster block on Jermaine Marshall. Slaw made a statement with his dunk as the clock runs out as well. Alex Williams also held his own with a gutsy three-pointer down the stretch. Furman outlasted Samford in overtime 91-84. Slauson had 26 points. It is important to know that Heen was out due to injury and Vanderwall is still recovering from an illness. Alex Williams stepped up, giving the team 13 points. Let's take a look at tennis now. Women's tennis fell to Iowa, and men's tennis came up short against Tulane. Furman men's tennis will host Belmont Abbey on Saturday at 10 a.m., and Furman men's basketball faces off against Chattanooga here in Greenville on Wednesday. Next week, we look at the renovations for Timmons Arena, and of course, we'll have your highlights and scores from the week's play. For Nightly News, I'm Michael Davis. Lindsay, back to you.
Michael, thank you. That does it for this edition of the Nightly News. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you back here next week as we look into what all the fuss is about with M&Ms, plus other news around campus and our community. But for now, I'm Lindsay Capps. Have a good night, everyone.